Hi there. Welcome to Ballet 101. My name is Elizabeth Chayer. I am the founding director of American Dance Institute. We have 4 locations in Seattle, Washington. And I'm going to give you today a basic ballet class. I have been teaching for 40 years. I know my way around the ballet studio. And I'm going to give you my basic introductory class for a Ballet 1. I will assume that you know nothing, even though you may have had some prior training in the past, but we're going to take it from a blank slate and build you up and give you a nice solid foundation. I will give a disclaimer that after teaching for 40 years, my feet are pretty arthritic. And so there are several things that I cannot do well with my feet anymore. My legs work, my torso works, my arms work, but my feet are in pretty poor shape. So there are some things that I may not do very well. I can teach it, I just can't execute them real well. And I will point those out to you just to make sure that you don't do it incorrectly just because my feet don't work so well. So we're going to start today with a lot of explaining in minute detail about the different exercises in ballet, how to initiate the movements, what to watch out for, things like that. We are only going to get to a fraction of the steps in ballet today. There's just so much explanation that goes behind every movement that we're going to work on today. So if you're in an ongoing class, each class, this would be the first class, and then each class after that would build onto it. But at least you'll get a little taste of what ballet technique is all about. So to start, we're first going to talk about alignment. And I'm going to show you a side view here. If you can think of your body as being just like building blocks, like a kid playing with blocks. You've got your head, your shoulders, your ribs, your hips, your legs, and your feet. And they're all in a nice straight plumb line up and down. There's a natural curve in the small of the back here. You want to maintain that, but you do want to be careful that you don't what we call hyperextend or release. And just like building blocks, if you're playing with, kids are playing with a building block, if something is off kilter just a little bit, either the whole thing topples over or something else is compromised, the stability is compromised. So for example, this is proper alignment. If I swayed my back, I would either fall forward or I'm going to have to adjust something so that I don't fall forward, like throwing my upper body back. So one thing kind of kicks off another thing. It's kind of a domino effect. So you just want to make sure that you try to keep those body parts aligned all the time. Now I want you to keep your feet what we call parallel position, just facing forward, and just soften through the hip socket and let the knees float over the toes. And when you do that, you want to make sure nothing changes in the body. And if you sit down on the floor for just a moment and rock back and forth, you'll feel those 2 bones. We call them your sit bones. The technical name is the ischium, but we just call them the sit bones. It's easier to remember. When you fold at the hips, those sit bones should go right directly down to the heel. They shouldn't tip back this way or tip under this way. So straight up and down, nothing changes as you come up and down. So that's your basic alignment. And that is actually great for you, not just for ballet training. That will give you a healthy spine through all of your life if you make sure that you always watch your proper posture. Okay, second concept we want to talk about. Now, I'm going to hold on to the bar here for support. You may not have a bar at home, likely not. So you can use a chair or a counter or a bureau, or if nothing else, you can even just hold on to the wall, tap the wall a little bit. You want to make sure that the bar is not a crutch. It's just your little helper, just a light touch just to give you a little bit more stability. Bring your feet together in parallel. Now, most things in ballet are done with a turned out position, and turn out comes from the top of the leg. So I'd like you to lift the toes of one of your feet and just rotate the leg in and out. And you can feel that that's where it starts, is up here in the top of the hip socket. Try the same thing with the other leg. You want to make sure that when you're turned out, you're not forcing it from the knees or from the ankles, that it's all coming from up top here. Now, when you take a first position, bring your feet together and just rock your toes open. That's what we call first position. This is your natural turnout. In time, we're going to want to increase that turnout, but you have to get the muscle strength to hold it so that you don't injure yourself. So for now, just do a nice, comfortable turnout wherever you feel your natural turnout is. And we're going to shift the weight slightly forward towards the balls of the feet so that you're not settling in the heels. And just go ahead and point your foot to the side and lower the toes slowly down. Make a triangle shape here. This is second position. And then point your foot and pull the heel across to the middle of the back foot by the arch of the foot. This is third position. We're going to work with just those 3 positions today, and we're going to keep the hand on the hip for all of our bar work, so you don't have to think about what the arm is doing. You can just concentrate on the legs, and we'll slowly build up to more fancy things as you progress. So the plie, which is the foundation of ballet, one of the most important steps, is a lifting action. And there's the basic law of physics: every action has an equal and opposite reaction, is a basic tenet of ballet technique. And what I mean by that, how it applies, let's just talk about the theory. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. If you can imagine holding a rubber ball and you drop it and it will bounce right back up again to you. Drop it and catch it. Now, if you threw it down with great force, it's going to project up that much higher. So there's the action, that's the reaction. Ballet is the same thing. So in a plie, where the body is lowering down, it's not a down movement, it's a lift. So you're going to lift up to go down into the plie. And then to straighten out of the plie, you push down, you push the floor away and the body goes up. If you continue to push, you'd go to a releve. If you continue to push even higher, you go to a eleve or jump, a saute. So everything is, you have to think opposition. You're thinking up to go down, you're pushing down to go up. And that's going to keep a sense of strength and stability in the whole core and the whole torso there. Second thing about a plie is when you're in that first position, you want to make sure that your core is engaged, stomach is lifted, and your seat muscles are engaged. Underneath your bum, there's these little rotator muscles called your external rotators. You have to get those engaged at all times. Now, to start the plie, a lot of people that teach plie teach it as a bending of the knees. I want you to throw that out the window. It is a flexion in the hip socket. That's where it's initiated. The knees bend as a result of this happening, not this initiating, if that makes sense. If you watch the side view, I lift from the top of the hip, and that presses my knees to the side. My sit bones are going straight to the floor. It's real easy when you think knees to let that happen. So if you think about it up here, trying to keep that as flat as you can in the front of the hip, your plie will be solid and your pelvis will be where you want it to be. Okay, so that's the tenets of plies. I'm going to demonstrate a plie exercise. We'll do it with the music, but I'm going to show you one other movement that we're going to add on at the end of our plie exercise, and that is called a cambre. Cambre means to bending of the body, actually. So we're going to lift the arm and open it to the side. I'm going to pitch forward from the hip with a flat back so that I'm parallel to the floor. And then I'm going to release all the way over and drop my head down so that the top of my head is down towards the floor, my arm is hanging. And I'm going to drop the pelvis and get it placed back on top of the legs and slowly roll up through the spine. My head is going to be the very last thing to come up, and then the arm will follow and it will open. I'm going to demonstrate that facing this way so you can see the side view. My weight's forward over the balls of the feet, my tailbone is dropped, everything is lifted here. I pitch forward with a flat back, where I'm parallel to the floor. Then I'm going to release over and let the head hang and drop. I drop the pelvis, get the pelvis replaced back on the legs, and then slowly stack the vertebrae one at a time as you come up and open the arm. Okay, so that's your cambre. So here's what our exercise is going to look like. Start in parallel. Rock back on your heels and open the toes to the side. Shift your weight forward towards the balls of the feet. And we're going to prepare the arms. Take one hand to your bar or your device, whatever you're using to help you balance. The other hand is going to go to the waist. We start our plie with a lift, up and out. 1 and 2. And then we push the floor away. We're lifting up through the top of the head. We're pushing down into the floor. Third time, demi, plie, push down into the floor and go to that releve. Now this is one of those positions where I talked about my feet. I can't get all the way up on the ball of the foot, but you try to get as high on that releve as you can. And plie and stretch, point your foot, and then a little adjustment on the foot closer to your bar so that you're centered between the two legs. And we do the same thing in second position. We start and lift, thighs pressing back. 1 and 2, and stretch, and plie, and 6, and 7, and 8. Now keep your core engaged here. This is a very active movement. It's not passive. And up, and hold, and plie, and stretch. Adjust that inside foot, bring it back more to your center. Outside foot, cross your third position. Same thing in third. Lift, and plie, stretch into the floor. lift and plie, and stretch into the floor. Third time, plie, and now push down into your releve up, and hold, and plie, and stretch, point the foot, and close to first. That's when we're gonna open the arm out to the side. Take the hand off the waist, and we'll take that cambre over for a flat back for 4 counts. Release and let the body hang for 4 counts, and then we roll up through the spine. Follow the hand. We'll two of those cambres, and then we're gonna just take a short little releve balance, release the bar, and see if you can find your balance. We finish every exercise always with the arms rounded low fifth and head poised slightly out from the bar. That's how you'll always start and how you'll always finish. All right, so check your first position. Weight shifted towards the balls of the feet. Engage those muscles underneath the seat. Core is lifted and arms low. Lift to plie. Push the floor away and lift and stretch. Thighs open, stomach is strong. Push the floor down. Nice high releve. Plie and stretch. Point the foot and adjust your inside leg. Knees over toes, pressing thighs back. Stretch and plie and stretch. Plie, releve, push and plie. Adjust your inside foot and your outside foot. Third position. Plie, sit bones to the floor. Make sure that you're using those, squeeze those muscles underneath your seat. Plie and stretch. And plie, push, releve. And plie, stretch, and point, and close. Open the arm, and we reach forward, flat back. Drop the head, rounding forward, stay there and hang. You should feel a good stretch in the back of your legs here. Rolling up through the back. And the arm comes up and open. And another cambre, weight forward, reach. And release over. And roll up. And a quick little rise. And check. And plie. I'm sure you did a lovely job. I can't see you, but I'm sure you did. We're going to do the same exercise on the other side of the bar. So if you're, one of two things you can do at home. You can just move, turn around and face the other way, but then you won't be able to see the screen that you're watching. So you might put a chair on either side. Otherwise, you might have to do a little adapting in between exercises. So we'll go over to the other side, and we'll repeat the same thing, starting with the other hand on the bar. Prepare the arms. And we lift. And we push down. Grow taller through the top of the head. Feel long length through the torso. And plie. Rise up. Stomach strong. Don't forget about those seat muscles. And plie. And tendu to the second position. Plie, thighs pressing back. And push. Feel a little bit of resistance so that there's very much activeness going on in the body. One more, plie. Rise up. And plie. And stretch. And to third position. And plie. And you do want to make sure that you keep your hips facing straight forward here. Watch that it doesn't twist on you. Everything is square right over the shoulders. Last one, make it your best. Push to releve. and plie, and stretch, tendu, and we open the arm. Weight forward towards the balls of your feet now. Flat back, and releasing over, drop the head. Rolling up through the back. And open. And again. Forward 1, 2. Hold it there, parallel to the floor. Release over, let the head drop. And rolling up through the spine. And a little relevator check. And open, and plie. So our next exercise is called a tendu. And I'm going to spend a fair amount of time really dissecting this, because if you can learn to do a clean tendu, the rest of your bar work can be clean, because it's all built on the same principles, okay? So let's go ahead and open up our toes to the side for our first position. We're going to shift the weight forward towards the balls of our feet. Here's the basic rule of thumb. Whenever the leg is moving in a forward direction, it's initiated by the inside of the heel. So I'm going to push my heel forward so that my leg is sliding out, my toes are staying on the floor. And then when I can't keep my toes on the floor anymore, I stretch the toes completely, and that is your full tendu. So come back to first position. It's the heel that leads forward. Always, okay? Anytime your leg is traveling in a backwards direction, it's the little toe that leads back. And by doing that, you're going to hold and maintain your turnout. If you let this happen, you've lost your turnout. You have to keep the heel forward, and if you led back with the heel, you'd lose the turnout. So the heel is going to push forward out to what we call the demi-point position. It's all 5 toes are on the floor and the ball of the foot is on the floor. And then we stretch through the ball of that foot so that you're really articulating every joint in the foot. That's called our full point tendu. We're going to lower the toes back down and pull the little toe back to our first position. Once you come back to first, you need to reestablish the weight on 2 legs again. Obviously, you're on 1 leg when you're doing the tendu. That is the forward tendu. Then the next direction is called a la seconde. It is often referred to called side. It's not really side unless you've got perfect turnout, 180-degree turnout. A la seconde is in line with your first position. So wherever your toe is pointing in first position, you just follow that out to the side. So we slide the foot out to the ball of the foot, then to the full point tendu, lower the toes down, and then you squeeze the legs together as you come back in, reestablish your weight on 2 feet. Now remember when we talked about the front tendu, I said the heel leads forward to the front, the toes lead back. Well, we're going to go to the back now, so the toes are going to lead back. The little toe is going to reach. I'm going to show a side view here. The little toe is going to reach, and the whole leg stays turned out as you stretch that tendu back. To close, you lower the toes down, and then you pull the heel forward so that you maintain the turnout of the leg. All right, so we're going to take to the front, to the side, to the back, and to the side. And there's a term for that. It's called en croix. It's a very convenient term to have once you're well-versed in ballet vocabulary, because a teacher can show one part of a step and say en croix, and everybody knows that they can do it all the way around the clock, and they don't have to see it demonstrated every single step of the way. So we're going to start in our first position. Again, we're going to take our hands to the hip and 1 hand to our bar, and we slide the foot heel forward, 1 and 2. We stretch the full point tendu. We lower the toes, and 6. We pull the toes back into close, 7 and 8. We're going to take it twice in each direction, front and 2 and 3 and 4, toes back, and 6 and 7 and 8. Maintain that turnout the whole time. Now do be careful when your leg is to the front that you don't lose the turnout here either. You want to always keep that heel forward. Then we take it a la seconde, out and 2, all the way through the toes, lower the toes, back down, and squeeze them in twice to the side. Then we take twice to the back position or derriere. Little toe reaches back, 1 and 2, full point tendu. Watch so you don't lose the turnout here either. Keep that heel pressing forward, and to close, we pull the toes down, we lower the toes down, and we pull the heel forward as you do. Also watch when you go to the back, dancers, that you don't let your hips twist on you. This still has to maintain straight forward, and there is a tendency when you go back to kind of sway open a little bit. So shoulders over hips at all times. Everything is nice and square. Okay, so we'll take it with the music. 2 tendus to the front, 2 tendus to the side, 2 tendus to the derrière, and 2 tendus to the side. Prepare the arms, hand to the waist. We lead forward with the heel to the full point tendu, stretch it, lower the toes down, pull the toes back in, and out, and point, and toes down, and pull in, a la seconde, and full point. Keep that heel pressing forward, shoulders and hips are square. Close to first, center the weight over the second toe, half point, and full point. Keep that heel forward, toes down, and close. Now grow taller as you go to the back. Little toe reaches behind you, and full point, and lower the toes, pull the heel forward, and back, and point, and toes down, pull the heel forward, to the side again, out, and stretch, full point. You really want to make sure that you articulate through that metatarsal joint, through the ball of the foot, and close. Last one. And full point. Now your feet may start to cramp a little bit if you've not worked those little tiny muscles in the feet near as hard as you're working them as you have to work them in ballet. And finish. Okay, so we're ready to do our other side now. So we're going to go ahead and take our first position. Open out. Get your weight shifted slightly forward towards the balls of your feet. Engage underneath your seat on those rotator muscles and feel a strong core engaged all the way up through the top of your head. Arms are rounded, head is poised, and we're ready to go. Prepare the arms. Heel forward. And full point tendu. Lower the toes down and pull the little toe back. Center the weight on the 2 feet again. And again, shift, half point, full point. Lower the toes down, pull the little toe back. Solid first position. A la seconde, we follow the line of the toe, half point, full point, and half point. Keep the heel pressing forward, stomach strong, center the weight. And test yourself once in a while. Make sure that you're not gripping whatever you're holding on to, just a light touch. Heel forward, lower the toes, and pull the leg in. Grow taller as you go to the back, stomach strong. Little toe reaches behind, and full point. Try to make sure everything is square here, shoulders over hips, and heel pulls forward to close, and little toe reaches back. Full point, and lower the toes, and the heel pulls forward. One last set, a la seconde, half point, and full point. Stay strong on that standing leg. Lower the toes, and close to first. Last one, half point, and full point, stomach strong. And toes down, close to first, and finish. All right, the next exercise we're going to do is called dégagé. Dégagés can be done slow or quick. We are going to do the quick ones today. And when they are done quickly, they're also called jeté, which means to throw, so a little throwing action of the leg. All of the things we just talked about in tendu apply to dégagé. So just remember, heel forward, toes back, hips square, shoulders, all of that applies. So hand on the waist, we take the foot out to that half point position like we had in our tendu, but instead of just stretching it to the tip of the toe, we're gonna use the toes and push off the floor, push, to get a sharp action. Then lower to the tendu, lower the ball of the foot, and pull the little toe back to close into your first position. So once again, you have half point and 2 and 3 and 4, and push through the foot, lower to the toe, lower the ball, close first, and 8. Then we're going to take one action where it's a brush, but you're going to go through that same action just a little bit quicker. You're not going to pause in that demi-point position. You're going to let it go through. But still make sure you get that action of the toes pushing off of the floor, that they're actively involved, okay? So we take from our first position, we'll take a little breath of the arm, 5, 6, 7, 8. Half point and up, and push through the foot, lower toe, and ball, and close. And brush point, and hold, and close, and in. Brush point, and hold, and close it in. We'll take that en croix. So we take it once to the front, then we follow the line of that leg in second. Half point, and 2, and push through the foot, to the toe, to the ball, close in first. Brush it out, and hold, brush it in, and hold, brush it out. And when you're brushing in, you also, again, have to make sure that you're going through that demi-point position so that you're articulating every single spot. Same thing to the derriere position. Lift up taller through the torso as you go back. Little toe goes back. Half point, and 2, and push through the foot, and toe, and ball, and heel. And half, a point, and push through the foot, and toe, and ball, and heel. And brush it out. Sorry, I did 2 of them. And in, brush out, and brush in. And one more set, a la seconde. Okay, so we're going to go 2 front, 2 side, 3 front, 3 side, 3 back, 3 side. The first one is broken down. The second 2 is same action, just a little bit quicker going through. All right, first position. Arms rounded, stomach strong, seats engaged, weight shifted slightly forward towards the balls of your foot. Tailbone is dropped down. Prepare to the front, half point, and push through the toe. Keep that heel forward, toe, ball, and close. Now one brush out, brush it out, brush it in. Another one, brush it out, brush it in. To the second, and half, and point, tendu, lower, in. Now we brush it out, brush point, brush close, brush point, brush close. To the back, half point, and push through the toe, and ball, and heel. Hips square, brush back, brush close, brush back, and to the a la seconde. Half point, and push through the toe. Keep that heel forward, close to first, and shoulders over hips, and close, tailbone dropped, and in. Okay, we're ready for our second side. Open the toes out to the side. Shift your weight slightly forward towards the balls of your feet. Feel those rotator muscles engaged. Stomach pulled in, arms are rounded, and head is poised. Prepare the arms to the front. Half point, push through the toe, ball, close. Brush it front, brush out, brush in, brush out, brush in, a la seconde. Follow the line of that toe in your first position. Push through the toe, and toe, ball, heel. Try to keep your hips nice and square here. Brush, brush close, brush out, brush close. Derriere, and half point, and push, a toe, a ball, and close. One big brush, out, brush close, brush back, brush close into the side, half point, and push through the toe, a ball, and heel. And brush, and close. Last one, brush, and close, and finish. Okay, we're going to jump ahead. There's a couple of other exercises that are typically done at this point in class, but I'm going to jump ahead to some other ones because we're not going to have time for all of them. So the next one that we're going to do is called développé. It means to develop or unfold. And if you take your first position, just put your hand on the hip. We're going to shift. Right now your weight shifted forward towards the balls of your feet, and your weight is evenly distributed between both feet. We're going to shift the weight to the inside leg so that the outside foot is free to release. And we're going to place it on the side of the ankle with the knee pressing out to the side, a nice triangle shape here. This position is called coupé, which means to cut. You're cutting the foot away from the floor. We're going to go coupé 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Slide it up the leg, and we're going to let the little pinky toe actually come right underneath the knee, so it's not going to quite be on the side of the leg. You can take it a little bit forward. This is called passe, or retiré is the technical name. Passe is the action, but we're just going to call it passe because that's what most people call it. From here, we're going to do a développé to the front. Now, if you remember the rule about tendu and dégagé, if the leg is going in a forward motion, it's always the heel that initiates the movement. So here's my passe. I'm going to push that inside of the heel forward and develop the leg, unfold the leg, trying to maintain that turnout the whole time. So one more time, here's your coupé. And again, make sure that those rotator muscles underneath your seat are working. We pull it up to the passe devant, where our little toe is touching underneath the knee. The knee is trying to hold back as much as you can, and the lower leg reaches the heel forward to open and develop and rotate and rotate and rotate. Eventually, you're going to want to get your leg up to here. But for right now, we're going to keep it about 45 degrees. I want to see square hips and solid alignment. And what happens is if you start trying to take it too high before you have the strength, everything else falls apart. So trust me, if you study ballet, you will get to all of these grand things, but they all build. Every class builds on the one prior to it. So you'll learn a little bit, then you'll add on, and that's the whole joy of the whole process. Okay, so you've done the one to the front, and then we're going to go to the side. Coupé 1 and 2. We slide the foot up to the passe. 3 and 4. Now, leaving the thigh exactly where it is, just open the lower leg. Nothing more than that. Just open the lower leg. Watch so you don't lose the turnout. Keep the heel pressing forward. Lower to the tendu and close it into first. Then we go to the derrière position. I'm going to face the bar, face this way so you can see the side view, but we won't change position during the exercise. It's just easier to demonstrate it so that you can see in this direction. Here's your coupé, and here is your passe. Actually, this time we're going to take the passe to behind the knee because we're in the back. The thigh reaches back along with the little toe. So you want to be careful that you don't let the knee drop, that is losing the turnout, but you keep the turnout and you press that thigh back. The little toe is reaching back as well, and you get it right behind you. Now you can see my body is shifting just a little bit forward because you're never going to be able to get your leg up if you don't let it go a little bit. But try to keep it up as much as you can, and when you close it back to you first, make sure you reestablish your alignment, because when your leg is up, you are going to pitch forward a little bit. You wouldn't want to stay there when you close. So ballet is all about adjusting too. It's a very fluid art form, so you're always constantly making adjustments in your body as you move. So we'll take these en croix. We'll just keep the hand on the hip for all of them. So we'll have 4 counts to the coupé, 4 counts to the passe, 4 counts to unfold the leg, and then lower it slowly down, close it into first, and we'll take a little demi-plie just to release in the hips, and then we'll take it à la seconde, and to the derrière, and to the à la seconde again. And actually, I am going to turn sideways when I go to the back, because our filming studio here doesn't give me enough room unless I move up here. Does that work? No? Okay. So I'm going to turn to face my bar when I do to the back, so I have room to do it. But you don't need to do that, dancers. You can just keep your one hand on the bar the whole time. All right, here we go. So open the toes, weight forward, seats tight, stomach in, shoulders down, breathing. Coupé. Make sure your weight's on the ball of that standing foot. Bring it up to the passe, knee pressing back, shoulders over your hips. Leading forward with the heel, open the lower leg, stay strong on the supporting leg, seats tight, lower slowly to the tendu, and close. And a little plie. Coupé, Hold it there. Make sure that knee is back. Don't lose the turnout. Passe. Heel is pressing forward, thigh is pressing back. Leave the leg right there. Just open the lower leg. Lower to the tendu. And close. And plie. And coupe. Passe. We're going to take the passe behind the leg this time. Now chest up. Thigh reaches back. Tendu. Place your placement. And last time to the side, coupe. Passe. Open the lower leg. Lower to the tendu. And close. And plie. And finish. Okay, we're ready for our second side. Let's get our nice clean first position. Rock back on the heels. Weight shifted forward towards the balls of your feet. Engage underneath your seat. Abdominals pulled in. Prepare the arms to the hip. Coupe. Now make sure the weight's on the ball of your foot on that standing leg and the hips are level. Passe. Keep the knee back. Reach forward with the heel. Keep this strong. And point. Close. And plie. And coupe. Make sure that the standing leg is lengthened in the front here as well. Passe, and watch that this doesn't happen. Keep the hips nice and level. Keeping the leg where it is, open side. Lower slowly to your tendu, and close. And a little demi-plie. And coupe. Passe. Keep your shoulders square with your hips. Thigh presses back. Point and close and plie. Last time to the side. Coupe. Up to passe. Keep that thigh pressing open. Tall through the standing leg, lengthen through the top of the head. Développé side. Lower to the point, and close, and plie to finish. All right, so our next movement is called grand battement. Grand means big, battement means beating action of the leg. It's a fancy name for a big kick. And it, again, is an extension of the tendu and an extension of the dégagé. We just put a little bit more force in it so the leg goes a little bit higher. And if you think about those, well, I'll show you what it looks like first. And we'll just put the hand on the waist. We're going to push the heel forward, and like we would for the tendu or the dégagé, but allow the leg to go all the way up to hip level, or as high as you can get it without compromising the integrity of your posture here. So we give a big brush to the leg, releasing underneath, whoosh, lower it slowly to the tendu, and then pull that little pinky toe back to come back into first position to close. So we'll take 3 to the front. So we'll take our arms, preparation, 5, 6, hand to the waist, 7, 8, we battement 1, lower tendu, and we close it into first. We battement 1, and a point, and we close it into first. Third one, a brush, a point, a close it into first, and plie, and stretch. And remember that plie starts from the top of the hip. Then we do the same thing a la second. We're going to follow the line of that toe, and we just go a little bit higher off the floor. There is a real tendency, especially in a la second, to what we could say hike the hip. You want to make sure you keep that hip drop down and the leg rotated in the hip socket. So we take our 3 to the side, battement, to the point, and close it into first, battement, and point, and close it into first. Remember to keep your core strong. Close it into first, and we lift up through the top of the hip. We push down into the floor. Now to go to the back, the derriere position, I'm gonna hit the wall if I do it here, so I'm gonna turn to face my bar, and I would recommend you turn to face your chair because it will help you to keep your shoulders and your hips square with one another. And we do the same thing to the back, battement, and point, and close it into first, battement, and point, and close it into first, battement, and point, and close it into first, plie, and stretch. Now you notice when I go to the back, my upper body does shift forward a little bit. That's okay. You want to make sure that you don't dive forward though. Think about taking your shoulders and sternum forward in space, let the back arch, and then as you come back into close, you need to adjust and drop your tailbone down. Okay, so you don't want to stay in that pitch position when you come back in. So you stretch the leg, you point, you close, you adjust, and back there. So 3 times demi-plie, and then we'll come back to one hand on your bar or your chair for the other position, a la second. All right, so we'll give it a whirl. Let's find a nice first position. Weight shifted forward towards the second toe, arms rounded low fifth, head is poised out. Battement 1, point, close, grand battement, point, toes pull back, keep your stomach strong, and lift into your plie, lift, and stretch. A la second, battement 1, point, close, grand battement, point, close, grand battement, point, close, and plie, and turn towards your bar. 1, point, and close. Battement, point, close. Up, point, in, plie. A la second. 1, point, and in. Brush it up. In, brush it up. Plie, and finish. Okay, now we're ready to do our left side. I will just remind you about that basic law of physics. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. We want our leg to go up so the action is pushing down through the leg. So that it pushes down this way, so much energy that the leg has to go somewhere, and you just figure out which direction you're going to let it kick up in. So you want to think of not so much of lifting with the quad, but of releasing underneath the back of the leg as you take that whoosh, so it's a nice strong brush underneath. Eventually you're going to want to get your leg way up high in these, but for right now just keep it about hip level because it's too hard for beginners to keep things square if you try to take it too high. So all right, so feet together in first, weight shifted forward towards the balls of the feet, arms rounded, stomach is strong, and battement, brush, grand battement, keep those hips and shoulders square, grand battement, and close, lift plie, and stretch, a la second. 1, point, and close, tall, brush, and pull, release underneath the leg, and in, lift, up, and stretch to your bar. 1, point, and close. 1, point, close. Grand battement. Plie. And second, last time. And close. Make sure it's right in line with your first position line. Don't push it past to side. Plie. And finish. So dancers, after we've done our bar, and again, there would normally be quite a few more exercises that are done at the bar and lots of repetition, and that's how you build the muscle memory, is the repetition. You do it over and over and over again. And then there's so much to think about, and I recognize that. And that's why there's so much repetition, because you can't possibly remember all of the little details every single time. So the more you do it, the more you hear it, the more it becomes part of your natural body. So we're going to now come to what we call center floor, and we're just going to sit down, and I'll lead you through some stretches, and I'm just going to put some music on and just follow along, and I'll talk you through as we go for the stretches. Make sure you're right up on those sit bones and the spine is long. We're going to flex the feet, starting with the tips of the toes, half point, flexing at the ankle, and through the half point, through the full point. I'm going to take a little side view so you can see the feet a little bit better. Half point and full point and half point and full point. And we're going to reach the arms up over the head, lengthen up and out, reach beyond the toes, drop the head to the knees. Now if you can't reach your toes, grab your ankles, your shins, your thighs, whatever you can handle, and just gently pull the body in. Stay there and hold. You should feel a good stretch through the back of the legs. Out and up. And open. Flex the feet. Lift the arms up over the head. Lengthen taller. Reach over and try and grab the tops of the toes. Drop your head to the knees. Keep holding, feel the stretch. Try not to bounce, just gently pull your body in. Point the feet, lift the back, open the arms. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Try to gently press your knees out to the side and keep the back long. And then bring your feet just a few inches in front of you. Grab your ankles and rounding over. And you can brace your elbows against your knees and kind of push them down as you go. And lifting the back, legs front and open to the side. Now this straddle, you want to make sure that your heel, the inside of your heel, is looking up towards the ceiling. That maintains your turnout. Don't let them tip this way on you. So nice rounded turned out legs. Arms are up. We're going to stretch over sideways. Keep reaching. Feel a nice long stretch through the side of the torso. And lift. And other way. Big arc. Stretch it. Keep this hip down. Watch that it doesn't pop up on you. And lift the arm. Good. Now we're going to bend your left leg and face your right leg in a half split. Try not to let this leg do this. This is in preparation for your full split. So you want to open that as much as you can and bring the chest forward to the leg. And lift. Now you can try and push over into a split. Just go as far as you can. It might be up here, it might be all the way down. Wherever it is, it is. All right, let's try the other side. So you're going to bend your right leg, face your left leg, open this up as much as you can, and bring the chest forward to the leg. And keep your foot pointed here. And lift. And you can push over. And finish. And then to get up from the floor, you want to try to do it gracefully because you're a dancer. So what we're going to do is we're going to scoot our feet to the side and come to a kneeling position. And step up with your right leg turned out so that the knee is out to the side. Press up to a stand, close to first position, and there you are ready to do center floor exercises. Okay, so now we are ready to learn a port de bras. Port de bras means carriage of the arms, and eventually all of these arm movements would be incorporated into your bar work as well. Once you get the legs clean and secure, we'll start adding those arms as embellishments. But for right now, I'd like you to make a round shape with your arms, descending curve from your shoulder, through your elbow, through your wrists, and through your fingers. And if you take your thumb and put it by where the palm of your hand, the middle finger meets the palm of your hand, it will help you to let the fingers kind of feather out a little bit. And there is a tendency with beginners especially to kind of get claw hands. So get that thumb right where the middle finger meets the palm of the hand, and that will just kind of keep it glued there, and it'll keep your arm positions just a little bit cleaner. All of the things we talked about at the bar still apply. Weight shifted forward towards the balls of your feet, core engaged, seats engaged, shoulders relaxed, everything's in a plumb line. Everything comes center floor that you did at the bar. So your arms are here in low fifth. We're gonna lift them up so that your fingers are about across from your sternum, your breastbone there, and there's a descending curve still from the shoulder through the elbow, through the wrist, and to the fingers. If I had a bead of water, I should be able to roll right on down to my fingertips, okay? This is first position of the arms. Then go ahead and continue the arms, taking them up over towards your head. This is high fifth or fifth on O. Now, when you're in fifth on O, it's not directly over your head. You have to be able to see your fingertips in your peripheral vision, kind of frames your face. And if you take it behind you, it throws your back alignment off. So it's not directly over your head. It's a little bit forward, not very much, just a little bit. And then from there, we're gonna open to what we call a la seconde, but there's a little bit of breath here at the top. We're gonna open the arms and float them out to the side. And this position is called a la seconde. You wanna feel a stretch energy through your fingertips, reach. And then to come back to low fifth, we're gonna allonger the arms and let them float back down to first, or to low fifth, excuse me. So you go low fifth to first to high fifth to a la seconde. That's called first port de bras, and we will do 4 of them, okay? So you just practice those arm positions. Now, the other thing about port de bras, you want to have some positive tension in the body. And I don't mean this kind of tension, but if you can imagine you're pushing your arm through a pool of water where there's just a little bit of resistance, that's what you want to feel. So it's not this, but it's, there's a little more energy, a little bit more breath and everything. And this is what I really want to see, is from that top position opening that there's this lift, like you're almost exploding like fireworks. This is coming. And down we go again. Okay, so let's find our first position to start. Toes open, rocket open, shifted towards the balls of your feet. These muscles underneath your seat are engaged. The abdominals are engaged. Arms are rounded, low fifth, and we're ready. You can just give a little breath of the arms here. First, high fifth, and open, and down. Make sure your weight is on the balls of your feet still. First, high fifth, frame your face, and open, and float them down. And first, high fifth, remember those thumbs by your middle finger, and open, and lower. Last one, feel the resistance. High fifth, and open. And just a soft plie to lift. And finish. And breath. Okay, so our next movement is called sauté, and sauté means to jump. The basic rule about jumping in ballet is this: every jump starts with a plie, because if you try to jump without bending your legs, you can't get very high. So the plie is your power, okay? And the stronger your plie, the more push you get out of your plie, the higher you're going to jump, do your jump. So this is your plie. You want to point the feet in the air, and when you come down, you always land in a plie because it softens it. It acts like a shock absorber. Now, with my arthritic feet, I am not a good jumper anymore, but you want to try to get your foot as extended as you can in the air. My feet will not do that that well anymore, but that's what you want to aim for. So try to get as much point through the foot as you possibly can, even though my feet are not able to do that well right now. So here's your plie, and your saute jumps and pushes off of the floor, toes stretch in the air, and you come back down. And I'm going to take them a couple facing the bar because it's easier for me to demonstrate clean on my feet if I have a little bit more support. So I'm going to face the bar this way, and if you look, here's my demi-plie, and I push and I stretch those toes and I straighten. Now I'm cheating a little bit by pushing down on the bar to get me a little bit more height, but you want to try to get as much height as you can to really get those feet pointed underneath you, okay? So our combination will look like this. Plie 1, 2, jump 3, 4, jump 5, 6, and stretch the legs. Plie, jump, push, and stretch the legs. Plie, jump, push, and stretch. Tendu to the side and make a little adjustment with your other foot so you have a nice even second. We'll take the same thing in second position. Not too wide of a second. Keep your feet just a little bit on the outside of your hips, not too wide. Plie, saute, and stretch. Plie, saute, and stretch. Plie, saute, and stretch. Point, close first, and you're back home where you started from. All right, so we'll try it with the music. 3 sets of double jumps in first, tendu to second, same thing in second, and I'll talk you through it as we go. Okay, so I'm going to take my sautes at the bar because I need a little bit of extra support to help my arthritic feet. So we'll start with the arms 5th en bas, and we'll prepare the arms to the bar with the music. Plie, push, and stretch. Plie, and push. 3rd set. And saute, tendu, and second position. Plie, push, stretch. Plie, push. 1, 2, 3. Tendu left, close first. Nicely done, dancers. All right, and we will finish up now. There are lots of other jumps. We don't have time to get to them today. This first introductory class is just to kind of give you the foundation. Subsequent classes can build on all of this material, which is what happens. Every class will build on the one prior to it. So we're going to finish up today's class with what we call a reverence. Reverence is much like a bow that a performer would do on stage when they're done with their performing, they bow. It usually incorporates a little port-de-bras and sometimes a little stretch or whatever, and finish with some kind of a curtsy or a bow. And then it is customary after a ballet class, after you do reverence, you applaud. You applaud to thank your teacher. You applaud to your fellow students for a job well done because everybody worked hard. So just so you know, if you go to a real ballet class, that is what is expected. So we're going to put your feet in first position, and I will have you just follow along with me. The music can play, and I'll just lead you as we go. Breath. Take the arms to low 5th, to 1st, high 5th, and open. Again. 1st, high 5th. Let's take the right arm and the left arm. Point your right foot to the side. Point it to behind you. Just a little curtsy. Same thing on the other foot. Tendu. Foot back and curtsy. Or gents, you would take a bow from the waist. And I will say, well done to you dancers at home. I hope to see you again sometime soon. So I hope you enjoyed class. Thank you so much for dancing with me this morning. And if you would like more information, or if you're interested in continuing your dance education at home, we're in the process of developing an ongoing course for study at home. So if you're interested, click the button below and we will keep you posted on that progress. And we hope to see you sometime very soon. Thank you.